Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to start off by saying there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. Legendary songwriter Cynthia Weil recently passed away. She and her songwriting partner, Barry Mann, have written lots of songs you know, even if you don't know their names. It's a long list of hits, and surprisingly, there's only one Christmas song among them. And I wanted to talk about that. But first, let me sort of set the scene for those who aren't familiar with Cynthia and Barry. As far as I can tell, their first collaboration that hit the charts was a song called Bless You, performed by Tony Orlando. It made it to number 15 on the pop charts in 1961, top 5 in the UK. Since then, they wrote songs for the Crystals and Steve Lawrence. They wrote Blame It on the Bossa Nova, which was first a hit for Edie Gourmet. They wrote On Broadway with the songwriting team of Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, first a top 10 hit for the Drifters in 1963, and a top 10 hit for George Benson 15 years later. They wrote songs recorded by Frankie Laine, Jay and the Americans, and the Everly Brothers. They wrote Walking in the Rain with Phil Spector, a hit for the Ronettes in 1964. That same year, their song You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling, another one written with Phil Spector, was a number one hit for the Righteous Brothers. Gene Pitney, The Animals, and Andy Williams all recorded their songs. Paul Revere and the Raiders had two top 10 hits with their songs Kicks and Hungry in 1966. The Tokens, the Vogues, Dusty Springfield, Bobby Vee, and Cass Elliot recorded their songs. So did the Partridge Family, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, B.J. Thomas, Dionne Warwick, the Pointer Sisters, and Bette Midler. Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram's smash Somewhere Out There was another one of their songs with some help from James Horner. Peabo Bryson, Ray Charles, and Hanson also recorded their songs. With other writing partners, Cynthia wrote songs recorded by Barry Manilow, Carole King, Lionel Richie, Diana Ross, Shaka Khan, Sheena Easton, Vanessa Williams, and Martina McBride. But since this is the Sounds of Christmas podcast, the song I want to focus on is that one Christmas song written by Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann, Christmas Vacation. Most of us know it from the beginning of the Chevy Chase movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That version was recorded by Mavis Staples. There was no official soundtrack. An anniversary edition was supposedly released through a theme park in the 1990s, but that was actually just a well-produced bootleg, although there's an argument to be made about just how well-produced it was. The song has trickled out on various Christmas comps over the years, but it usually disappears pretty quickly. The story I heard was that this song was recorded on Prince's Paisley Park label. Around that time, Prince discovered that there was some thievery going on in his inner circle, and he closed his vault, which included this song. That's why it's not currently available on streaming services. And if you find it, it was illegally uploaded there, probably. And it will probably disappear again soon. Since there was no real release, tracking cover versions has been a little tricky. Monique Coleman from the High School Musical movies is possibly the first to legitimately record a cover version of Christmas Vacation. That was in 2007. It's on the compilation Disney Channel Holiday. My wife, Lisa Kessler, recorded a version at my insistence in 2009. Plum recorded a version in 2019. Natasha Owens also recorded a version that year. In 2020, the band Oh Hush released their version, though I think that was actually recorded a few years earlier. Luke McMaster also released a version in 2020. And believe it or not, that's about it. You can probably find more versions on YouTube, and there are different songs with the same title out there, but otherwise, for the Cynthia Weil Barry Mann song associated with the Chevy Chase movie, that's really it. No version has been released as a single, which means none have made it onto the charts. And as far as I can tell, this is the only Christmas song Cynthia Weil wrote, with or without Barry Mann. She leaves behind an incredible legacy of songs that will continue to be recorded and re-recorded long after most of us are gone. She won Grammys and had songs nominated for Oscars. She's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Cynthia Weil wrote one of my very favorite Christmas songs. I just wanted you to know. Thanks so much for listening and for continuing to support the Sounds of Christmas station and podcast. I told you how to listen to the station, and you're already listening to this podcast, so my work here is just about done. All our episodes are available on the Sounds of Christmas website. Just click the podcast tab. We also have a Linktree page, so you can find us on your favorite streaming site. Just go to linktr.ee/SOCmusic, and you can find most, if not all, of the sites that have our podcast. Then you can subscribe, and you'll never miss another episode. If you have comments or suggestions on this episode, previous episodes, the Sounds of Christmas station, or the Sounds of Halloween, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through the website. Thanks again. And may you always believe in Santa Claus.